Game number 3, aka home map of Clan Gaucho, is getting ready. It's gonna be Regicide Fortress that Nikov has proclaimed in there with his teammate Patin. The players are gonna be the same for the whole match, and let's see if NCs are having a whole lot more fight into them, and it's gonna be turning into, well, a comeback. There we go. Regicide Fortress is starting, and is there gonna be somebody who is gonna be making a mistake with the king? It definitely could happen. It's one ticket in, and if you're not used to Regicide Fortress, it could happen. But if I remember correctly, new chapter are actually used to for Regicide Fortress. Really, if I remember correctly, which I hope that I do, they even played it as a few home maps during their group stage. So they definitely should be knowing how to play that. And the gods are gonna be what? Or god civilizations. Okay, seem to be the same. Yes, it's gonna be a mirror. Mayans, Chinese, and Spanish, all pretty much normal civilizations for this kind of map. And let's, for example, check the number of farms, because sometimes it spawns differently. You can see there are 5 of them. For Andorin, you can see right now, right, 4. For LB10, the last player for NC is gonna be Skid Louis 7, also 5 of them. Otherwise, on the other side of the map, 5 for Patin, 5 for FedEx, and 5 for Nikov. So the only one who is having a bit less is gonna be LB10. Let's maybe see if that's what the pause is all about. Sometimes could be. Sometimes could be, but it's basically up to the players to potentially call it if they want to, because they can feel just fine to continue the game as it is. And well, what's kind of unlucky is this position potentially of the barracks right on the gold. Even though you can still build mining camp on the other side, it's not really all that ideal. Maybe he'll want to delete a bit later. And to be honest, once he actually switches into some kind of normal buildings, yeah, it could just happen, because who cares? And at that point, it could be exactly the correct time when he also needs the other side of the gold in there. So we're gonna be continuing. Apparently it was just a bit of a pause in there. Nothing all that major, as double bores inside for Nikov, as he's also having the gold and stone fairly interestingly positioned. There shouldn't be any kind of issue for him, as this wall is kind of useless. He just will need probably to build the double wall there. A single wall, double, I don't know, probably double, somewhere about here. And yeah, he's gonna be pretty much fine. So pretty nice map for Nikov. For his teammate FedEx, who's gonna be playing in the pocket, who's already deleted a bit of walls in there. So this is basically just telling us that he will want to go outside of the walls as soon as possible. This is gonna be hard to wall between him and Nikov. You can see quite a lot of emptiness. It's gonna be tricky, but it definitely can happen and should happen if the players are gonna be planning for a bit later game and a longer game overall. Otherwise, he's having front gold, so potentially a bit of an issue if he was like castle dropped or anything like that, as he's having balls also inside, but the stones are quite fine. And well, apparently Skittle dropped, so we might be having a restore in the end. Okay, so there was something weird going on apparently. Let's go back. Yeah, it seems so. Everybody's out, Skittle is still in the game. So, yep, right now we are Steam dropped and Steam ended, so we're gonna have to wait for a restore. We are at 2 minutes 30, so I'm guessing this is not gonna be a rare like restart of the map, but rather a restore. Let's see. Let's see, but so far we don't really see anything out of the ordinary all that much. And, well, we might just as well check around. If it's gonna be a restore, it's gonna be helpful. If not, then, well, we have at least checked out a bit of a map that we're never gonna see again. Until it spawns again, of course. So far I don't really see anything all that unusual. It's looking like, oh, this is bad. Yeah, this is actually pretty sucky for Patin. This is actually much worse. Much worse than I'm thinking, even one less farm in there for LB10. Because you don't exactly want to delete the castle. You don't exactly want to delete the castle and blocking this much of the gold. Well, that sucks. He can delete the walls. That's kind of fine. He's on the flank, so he's gonna be kind of halfway protected from the pocket. But yeah, this is not great. So let's see if it's gonna be a restore or whatever it's gonna be. Let's go out. Yep, there we are. Exactly at the moment where we left, that was killing the boar for Andorin. So he was being kept alive for a bit longer, but not really for that much longer. Well, we have already seen a whole lot of the map. We have checked it around. So, for example, let's see where the relics are. Quite close by to NC. That's gonna be 1, 2, 3, and 4. basically right next to LB10, and it's Andoran. So this is definitely gonna be quite a huge help to them if they're gonna be able to collect all of those. That's plenty of gold mines, extras basically. As the one at the top is gonna be helping potentially to Nikov, but yeah, well, let's see if it's gonna be really important or not, because at this point I'm really thinking it's gonna be a whole lot more about how the players approach the game. Nikov advancing very fast. Very fast indeed, right about now at 22 villages, but he's the Chinese, so he's of course having the 3 extra at the start. Skittle is not gonna be far behind, as he's the Chinese as well, and LB10, apparently as the Spanish, gonna be clicking very close by also, as the Spanish from the opposing team is also at 20, as he's looking for Patin. Well, he's gonna be a bit slower it seems, just now gonna be clicking also, but oh, he's kinda slowish. So he had a bit of an issue actually getting the boars, because he was having them outside of the gates. So he needed to delete the wall and lure them in. So that was a bit of a delay for him, exactly what is accounting for this problem for him. But otherwise, everybody just coming normally in there, and we're gonna be waiting as in arena once players get into Castle Age, and then it's gonna be getting a whole lot more interesting. What's kind of funny is how close actually the flank players are. It's not exactly a lure, a rule. Opposite side of the letters in there, rather in the different directions and positions. This is potentially gonna be dangerous right now for Skittle if he's not really careful enough, because there's definitely a hole in the wall, because he needed to lure the boars inside as well apparently, and if he kind of forgets about that, then maybe Patin could be making his way inside his base, because he's the Spanish. And he's definitely gonna be producing plenty of conquistadors as fast as possible, whereas the Chinese, he might not all that much. He might be interested in either camels or just basically trying to rush into Imperial Age and then into Chukonus. Definitely could happen, as he is going for a double wall already and expecting that things could be getting quite hairy on his side of the map. In that case, of course, you will be expecting that the hole is gonna be packed as soon as possible, and well, not really that many problems are gonna be happening in the end. And oh, really? That just happened. Okay, that almost was quite a short game, because I don't think that they will be continuing to play without Nikov. Okay. This is exactly what I was talking about at the very start. If you're not really used to play in Regicide Fortress, you might just be forgetting the king somewhere. And since the kings are used for basically running around and scouting us, they are quite fast, of course, in the very start, they help. Yeah, well, that is something you need to take care of. And Nikov almost didn't. And the scout did catch him off guard. Unfortunately, he was alone. He wasn't really ready to basically kill him right there. And Nikov, luckily for him, he did notice he wasn't really under attack by anything else at the time, and that is the reason why he's still in the game. Well, that had to have been definitely a scare. And maybe, it's kind of a shame that I didn't notice it before, because I would be definitely curious if maybe he was just somewhere idle. And it would have been better for example, LB10 to wait a bit. Have the scout there, basically see him, and then, when the situation gets serious, you could be producing a few conquistadors and just basically snipe him a bit later, if maybe Nikov forgot about him all around, as there is still scouting going on by FedEx. This is already quite risky, as the castle ages are gonna be hitting quite soon right about now, but he seems to be already heading home, and maybe they have already communicated that, yep, caution is the better part of valor. So yeah. He definitely needs to be a whole lot more careful, as Eagle Warrior is scouting somewhere if maybe the opponents are making the same mistake, but apparently they aren't. And let's, for example, in the meantime check where the kings are gonna be actually hidden. Okay, all three in the pocket tower and in the front one. That's weird. Why not here? It's kind of funny. Let's remember this. All three NC kings are in this watchtower. So let's remember that if something funny is gonna be happening from the other team, from Clan Gaucho. Or Nikov, he's having him in the castle, right? Yep, or not. Oh, I switch into Patin. I want into Nikov. Yes, he's having the king inside the castle. So that's basically the first hiding spot. For Patin, it's gonna be on the left side. Also castle? No. He's having him in the back tower. And last player, that's gonna be, of course, FedEx. In the pocket position, he's having him in the tower as well. Okay. And if you might be guessing why actually it's not hidden in the castle, it's because if you are having him hidden in the tower, you're gonna be immune to basically misclick of ejecting everything that you can be sending and garrisoning into the castle. You just don't garrison into the tower all that often. And basically waypoints from the castle are always gonna be somewhere aggressive. And if you basically misclick, then yeah, you are asking for trouble with the king. But if you are having him in the tower, that's much less likely to happen. So let's see if maybe Nikov is gonna be falling prey to that, because we have seen that he does have the king in the castle. So maybe the problem could be coming for him. He's the Chinese. He's gonna be producing the Chukonus a bit later, of course. Somewhere else on the map, so far nothing happening all that much, just basically TCs coming there. And it's gonna be 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 here, and of course that should be fairly standard for all the players. Maybe if somebody's greedy, is gonna be having 4. 3 for Andorin. Well, right now he's plugging the hole. He's finally plugging the hole. So just basically gonna look at that, if maybe he wasn't just doing that yet. 1 TC extra for the Spanish, as he's already producing at least a few conquistadors, and I would be expecting that the same is gonna be happening for Patin. 2 TCs, 2 TCs for him, a bit faster actually than LB10. And the conquistadors are already where? Nowhere. He doesn't have the conquistadors yet. Oh, because he isn't coming for conquistadors yet. He's going for 3 TCs and full on boom, as he's gonna be leaving the fun to the Mayan in the pocket into FedEx. And he definitely will have plenty to kill right next to the TCs, because, well, the wood line is very close by. And of course, those archers, they do have at least 4 range. It's not exactly huge, but still, it's gonna be denying the economy, and it's gonna be quite effective if you will be having the time for the proper micro to go in, go back, go back, go in, go back, and whatever. As this is gonna be open fairly soon as well. Exactly, not now, because there's still one straggler behind. And it's gonna be still waiting a bit. Right now this is open, and potentially the archers can sneak through and right into the middle of the enemy economy, but still plenty of towers, castles, and everything just shooting arrows everywhere. So I don't really expect it's gonna be just coming into play yet. Maybe with the conquistadors a bit later, because they're gonna be of course moving a bit faster. Conquistadors are getting ready from LB10 to potentially breach the gates, but they don't really need to do that, because as you can see, Nikov is wide open, and he's just basically inviting everybody in, if he is gonna be brave enough to go under fire of the TC, the tower, and the castle, and the TC as well. That's okay, so 2 TCs in there. Deal. What else is going on? Not much. On the left, basically full on walling by Patin, a bit of a scouting by Skittle, so that basically he knows when the enemies come in his way. Interesting. As at the very top, are we seeing something funny? Oh yeah, we've seen finally the Conquistador switching into Nikov and trying to raid at least a bit. At least a bit in there, as we are gonna be expecting something similar to of course happen and continue happening from FedEx at the very bottom, because orange is still trickling through the minimap, as you can see, and sending all the units nearby and through bottom. And has he actually realized that he can go through? Because he definitely can. There is one exactly square that can send him through quite easily, and he can basically just avoid all of it. He can quickly run on the other side of the map and then completely deny the stone, denied half of the farms, and this is actually quite risky play by Skittle. And even though he is right now just basically inviting the enemy in, getting rid of all the walls altogether, well, it doesn't seem that FedEx would be basically baiting, and rather biting the bait. Biting the bait. This is correct. And falling for it and going into that kind of endeavor and engagement, as a bit of falling is coming in the middle from Patin and FedEx, as they really want to be prepared for the later game. So yep, they seem to be playing long game and thinking and hoping that this game is not gonna be really too short. Oh well, thank you for the conquistadors, I guess. Or not. Oh, he was able to actually escape in time. That was a bit of a surprise. It seemed like they were converting for quite some time. But yeah, well, it's still quite decent defense right about now, and nicely played by Nikov, who is getting at least the one relic that he could. Otherwise, the rest is probably not gonna be for him all that much. Okay, Conquistadors found their way inside the base of FedEx, which is exactly not that hard, because there was a hole at the very back in there, right next to the wood line, and there is a hole in here as well, which is potentially gonna be leading to Patin. Yeah, right now LB10 is noticing that exactly, and even though he has lost at least a few units, he also killed a few. Can see these were 2 villages dead, and he lost about 3 conquistadors at this point. Well, it's exactly not that bad. At this stage, it's exactly not that bad. As it will be basically letting him get a bit ahead, at least a bit. As Nikov is right now going to be moving forward, trying to drop a castle on his opponent. And that could definitely be working, because of course we could have seen that LB10's army is on the other side of the map. So he doesn't have everything here. And even though Skittle is coming into Imperial Age, because he's apparently going to be slung by Andorin at this point, guessing. This is looking quite promising for Nikov and very bad for LB10. I'm not entirely certain what he's gonna be able to do against that. And considering the fact that this is where the 3 kings are, this is definitely very dangerous play for NCs. And let's see if they're gonna be really able to deal with that. Of maybe, well, Nikov is gonna be noticing at least that and trying to snipe them. Well, I don't really want to switch the point of view here. Sorry. I just wanted to switch and have a look onto achievements. Actually, no sling. No sling. I was really thinking that NCs could be slinging Andorin onto, I don't know whom, probably Skittle. I was thinking that he could be. But the Imperial Edge from Skittle is just basically the fastest jump that he could be making as the Chinese. And with Nikov advancing also into Imperial Age, it seems like they are having kind of similar idea. But he is, NC Skittle, definitely a whole lot more defensive. He's not gonna be coming on to the enemy Spanish as aggressively as on the other side Nikov is. And that might be, well, a bit of a problem for them. Because of course this is gonna be allowing Patin to be playing a whole lot more comfortably. Getting ready for the Paladins. You can see already stable being dropped by the Spanish player. Whereas, of course, on the right, Nikov stealing the gold from the opponent. Having the monks to get rid of some potential few conquistadors. And the rest is just gonna be executed by all those Chukonus. So army is kinda present from LB10. But it's probably not gonna be strong enough, I'm thinking. It's gonna be getting quite hard for him at this point. Alright, this is gonna be interesting and very important engagement if it's actually gonna be coming either way. It seems that Nikov is not feeling comfortable with that as he's sending the monks forward. Then it's gonna be of course a whole lot of conversions, but they need to be fast enough because this is already gonna be one-shotting the monks. Yes, this was very nicely played, but still they did convert 3 of them. And that seems to be plenty enough. He's gonna be blocking the path in there at least a bit, allowing a few more hits by the Chukonus. And well, that was quite important. And even though he lost 400 gold in all those priests in there, I'm really thinking this is working towards his advantage quite significantly. As he's basically keeping LB10 or rather intact. Kinda not really all that important in the game, like that he will be raiding into the economy and whatever. And that is, of course, exactly what he needs to do, because the Spanish is the biggest problem and potentially could be, with the Paladins, quite dangerous. So if they are gonna be having Paladins themselves, Patin coming into Imperial Age, Ferex also Scale Barbarian, or almost coming up for Patin as well, he is definitely getting ready. And with the wall-in, double wall-in right in front of the opponent, well, he might not be all that happy once he learns. That right now Skittle is learning from Nikov. Skittle is definitely learning, and he's gonna be finally castle dropping into Patin as well, and that's exactly what needs to happen. And he needs to slow this down as fast as possible, but it's gonna be really quite sketchy if he's gonna be able to do that. Because he is at least slightly faster, but the horses still could be coming in pretty good numbers. And it's gonna be all about proper micro. It's gonna be very hard, and probably Ferex will need to assist Patin. Because at this point I'll be really thinking that blue is gonna be having a good game. You can see he's gonna be castle dropping the next goal. And well, probably would have been better castle guard here to stop the gold or the stone. Maybe could have been slightly better, but this is danger is the same. It's gonna be just opening the gates and allowing the enemies in. As on the middle, on the right, the middle right side, it seems like Andorin is gonna be joining into basically double against Nikov. And oh well, this is kinda interesting momentum, because of course Nikov is still kinda alone. Gonna be getting rid of the castle of the Spanish player and reaching into his base in basically no time. Well, all this extra army, all these plumed archers, possibly combined with... Well, that's the question. With what? Because right now LB10 is having only a few conquistadors. And he's not really ready to switch into Paladins yet. He's not even ready to advance into the Imperial Age, you can see. So, problem is definitely brewing for a new chapter. And I'm not entirely certain how they're gonna be able to deal with that. They definitely need to somehow push very strongly onto Patin. Because once the Cavaliers, and especially the Paladins a bit later, come into play, then they're in real trouble. As long as they can avoid that and basically make life very difficult for Patin, then they still have pretty good chance actually. Because on the right it seems that Nikov should be kinda stopped, at least by Andorin. And with a bit of assistance by LB10 it should really be enough. But really the horses, that's where the game is gonna be decided. And so far LB10 at 88 villages, which is not bad, but it's not the 124 of Patin. 124, that's 30 more, 40 almost, more for Patin. On basically the player who is supposed to be making Paladins. That is very bad news. That's very bad news for the Germans. And otherwise the economies are not bad. Andorin 132, 138 for Skittle. Well, for Gauchos it's not bad either. 111 and 96. Not exactly as great as Andorin and Skittle. But yeah, I'm thinking they are doing a very good job. You can see right now that LB10 is getting absolutely leveled by Nikov. Nikov is absolutely owning his base. Andorin though is probably gonna be able to defend him because of the stronger economy at this stage and really having pretty solid play so far. But it's not gonna be getting easier. And yeah, once the horses, if they're gonna be able to join, if, that's a very big if so far, because Skittle is definitely doing a pretty great job on the left as he's pushing forward. Those trebuchets are gonna be an issue because of course you cannot get rid of them all that much. It was a very nice deletion of the building to basically avoid the choke point. It was very nasty for Matin. Well, Matin coming up with the Paladins, and Imperial Age for LB10 is not bad. But oh, come on, don't send the units to die like that. Like, why? Just wait for the Paladins and send like 20-30 Paladins later. Just lose the economy, who cares at this stage? Oh, come on. Come on, that's a weird play by Matin right there. Not exactly liking that for him. He's giving it definitely a pretty big chance to his opponents by that, to basically LB10 to catch him up. Rather catch up with him and get ready. So right now the horse is gonna be definitely used to get rid of all of those trebuchets and well slow down the attack on the castle. So where is the king already? Oh well, still on the left. Ha! Somebody's fairly confident, and it's Matin. Matin is definitely confident right about now that he's gonna be surviving, as the king is still hidden in there. And well, finally some Plutarches are coming forward from FedEx, who is also coming for coinage. So apparently he's gonna be having to send resources to his ally, and I kinda thinking it makes sense because yeah, the Paladins, I just cannot repeat it enough. I just cannot, because that's gonna be the game-breaking moment for either clan. If it succeeds for of course yellow, for Matin, for Gauchos, then they're gonna be having the advantage, and if not, and LB10 is gonna be somehow a bit more efficient with them, then they will be the ones who will potentially have the edge and could be winning the game. In the meantime, Nikov is doing a pretty good job in the base of LB10 himself. LB10 of course has plenty of economy, and even though he's doing what he can to basically get all the gold that he potentially and possibly can, good job at that, he's already also preparing behind his base with all the economy extra in there, which Nikov somehow just didn't discover yet. And of course, with all the horses being prepared and the cavalry coming forward just about now, this is gonna be exactly what they need, with the help from the archers from Andorin to basically stop this nonsense and put up some trebuchets into getting rid of the castles from the Chinese. So yep, this is looking quite good right now for NCs. How's it looking on the left? Not bad either. As Skittle is right now deleting the economy of Matin as well. So basically the absolutely same thing is happening on the left, even though slightly slower. And this is literally a mirror, a total mirror. The Spanish losing the economy, losing the base. Building right now behind his base again, trying to produce a few horses and whatever, and being saved basically by the pocket Mayan, and hoping that that's gonna be working, and who's gonna be really pushing forward better from those Chinese. Because so far, Nikov and Skittle, they are doing a hell of a job. Both of them are slinging FedEx into Matin. Yeah, he definitely needs a bit of assistance, and the king still like a boss right next to the battlefield. Yeah, this is... It's kind of dangerous, not only from the point, or rather from the standpoint that maybe Skittle could be noticing, but also that maybe Matin could be making a mistake with all the stables in there and somehow ejecting him into that position. So that's another reason why you shouldn't really risk having him right next to the battlefield. It's just kind of asking for trouble. Asking for trouble, and ask yourself, how often have you deleted a TC by accident? It just does happen. It just really does happen in there. Okay, so here we go. There are gonna be a few horses hidden behind, who are potentially gonna be helping at least a bit to support the attack on the left side of Skittle, as on the right. Nikov is doing such a great job, you can see. He's even denying the help that is right now coming from LB10. So even the plumed archers from LB10, or from Andorin, with the horses from LB10 are not enough to stop Nikov. This is just not really any kind of huge help from FedEx. He is trying to help, but it's nothing. It's nothing really compared to what Nikov is doing in there. And this is just basically Nikov 2 versus 1. Full on hardcore, and doing such a great job about and of that. Very nicely done by him. Still, the kings should be hidden in the tower, as they are. And those archers, well, they will be potentially denying the gold. They probably won't be having any kind of idea that all three kings are waiting there to be killed in the tower right next to the walls. But here it seems that maybe Nikov will be forced a bit back, as Andorin is having a bit of a luck with some good shots by Onages, which so far I don't really see, so maybe it's just Nikov being a bit scared. And the hill, oh yeah, the hill, that's an advantage. And the Onages are gonna be exactly a counterplay to that. So if he can make it work right now, Andorin, there's definitely an opportunity. And it seems to be coming there. That was a very good shot. Let's see, Trebuchets. Oh, he killed even the second one. That was nicely done. Nicely done indeed, but he still is having one alive. And with the Paladins finally coming from LB10, the game seems to be definitely wide open, even though on the left, the game has a bit stabilized, it seems like, for Clan Gaucho, as they have been able to basically clear the castle and plenty of other buildings on this side of the map. And they are moving, well, they were moving slightly forward, but they're not anymore, as the Chukonos are already nicely upgraded into full, and the Paladins, of course, from LB10 are fully upgraded as well. For the opponent, though, not. Ha! Can you see that? Patin is actually missing Blast Furnace as the last one, right? If I remember correctly. And that could be a bit of a bit of a problem if there is some kind of engagement of big armies, because those upgrades, they make plenty of difference. And if you're not ready for that and forget about it and think that you should be basically winning in a battle of equal numbers, it's turning into anything but a victory. It's turning into a pretty horrible disaster if you forget about things like that. So yeah, well, be careful about that. Be careful, as starting of the trade is going on, and Nikov apparently being camped right in the middle of the of the markets in there. Yeah, well, try to be annoying as possible, and Ferex apparently going to the bottom as well. But they haven't even started yet, so they're a bit too early. Whereas you can see there's already plenty of trade going on for Gaucho, but it's wide open. You can see they're coming through the middle of the map. But yeah, right about now, GGs are gonna be called, as apparently Andorin with LB10 are not feeling like they can basically push through the right side. As on the left, it seems that, yep, they are recognizing they're probably not gonna be pushing forward either. And I'm maybe kind of slightly confused why they're giving up just now. You can see the economies 138, 101, 91. For NC, for Gaucho, 83, 119, 117. So the economies are fairly similar. It's not really that much of a difference. Maybe even slightly better for NC. So, like, I'm not entirely certain what's going on. Maybe it's basically just the map control that NCs are basically aware of. Yeah, the middle of the map is very well controlled. They are controlling the trade route quite well, even though it's wide open. So still, a raiding could definitely happen in there. But with the trading exactly in here, into the middle of the trade, it seems that basically NCs are thinking they cannot even start with it, even though I don't exactly understand that, because of course the horses are present. So yeah, I'm confused. I'm confused. I really am. This castle would have been finished. There's not much of a doubt about that. So like, I don't get it. I really don't get it why this is called the GG by right now NCs. I don't see it. You can see the difference on the score is like 2000 points almost. But like, what else? The economies might be even slightly better for NC. Right, Battlefield? Not going anywhere. This is kept like that for the last 10 minutes at least. Nikov doesn't seem to be really significantly winning, or winning really at all. On the left, maybe this is the problem. Maybe this could be the decision for NCs. That they are seeing that on the left side with Ferex and Patin, they are getting ground, getting army in there, and LB10 just cannot supply enough units. I'm kind of thinking that's gonna be it, even though it's slightly weird, because really looking at the economies, LB10 should be able to do that. And the missing last upgrade for the yellow player is kind of weird, but Zar, that's the point. Nikov hasn't won his flank. He didn't win it. At this point, this is a battlefield for the last 10 minutes. It hasn't moved a single inch. It's at the very same spot. There's basically no reason that this should be called a game in there. So the only one I can see is on the left. And trade is also no argument, because NCs haven't even started the trade. They just now finished the markets. So it's not like they lost anything. And you can see horses already killing the archers and whatever. So I'm really confused. I'm really confused why this game is being called. But it is. And it means that actually Gauchos are gonna be winning the Grand Finals 3-0. And they are gonna be claiming the prestigious Golden Medal for the best clan in the community, gained in RTS League's Age of Empires 2, the Conquerors Clan League Season 41. So congratulations. and very well deserved, because that was quite hell of an achievement. And well, of course, has to be said, the new chapter, they supplied quite fun games, and they definitely weren't very far behind their opponents at all. Even though the 3-0 could be saying that they were swept and it was easy, it definitely wasn't. Even the starting connected islands that basically went all the way until all the wood was gone. There's just confirmation enough that new chapter definitely do have the skill, and they do deserve the silver banner and being the second best. Weren't really far behind, and could have been first as well, if it went a bit differently, of course. But it didn't, and Gaucho, they show their skill, and they are gonna be claiming their first title in the competition. Let's check the achievements then. It's gonna be Nikov quite deservedly. He was doing one hell of a job on the right side, but at the same time, has to be said, Skittle was the same. Skittle really wasn't different on left. He was really doing very well in the same vein, but Nikov just executed a bit better, and he was faster, which was maybe kind of what tilted NC a bit, and where it came from. Largest army 98 for Skittle. Yeah, units killed, units lost, that's understandable, of course, in there. 61 units killed, that's of course okay. 27 largest army. Yeah, but it was probably that LB10 was having problems, somehow set himself up. But I don't really see why, because Patin, like, wasn't that much better off at that point. You can see absolutely no sling, or, yeah, absolutely no sling. This was just basically a bit of a help to Patin when he was getting killed. And Andorin Selbin sent into LB10 as well, so it was pretty much the same. Yeah, villages high. Yeah, kinda normal, but 143. You mustn't forget that Patin didn't have it for too long, because it was at the point where he was starting to be attacked by Skittle, and then he lost plenty of economy and went down to about 110 and even 100. So really, yet again, not that different from LB10. Yeah, well, decisions are decisions, and that means that Clan Gaucho are the victors of Season 41 and are claiming the Golden Banner. So congratulations again, and also congratulations to New Chapter for the silver. GG. Well then, let's go back to the game room, correct the score, and I'm gonna be reminding everybody, of course, of the fact that there is still one last game to be played in this season. That's gonna be the Bronze Banner Battle between Run Forest Run and Gaucho, Clan Gaucho B, connected those two words. So Run Forest Run versus Clan Gaucho B, and that's probably gonna be played this upcoming week. So the very last game of Season 41 is still to come for the last banner to be given for the bronze one. So I hope that you enjoyed all of these games.